Hey everyone, how you doing? This is learning activity 8, where we're getting into the lab for this week, and last learning activity for this week, and that's going to be getting into the autonomous systems architecture build out. We're getting into phase 1, and this is going to be covering the sensors and getting into more detail on the sensors of our Adafruit. So go ahead and get yours connected. I've gone ahead and connected mine right here. And I'm going to move this off screen just for the time being. And we're going to go ahead and pull up. I'm just showing, yeah, just go ahead and get it connected. But what we're going to do is we're going to get our Mu editor running. So go ahead and get to Mu. The Mu editor, and once that's up, which shouldn't take too long, we'll go ahead and start to get coding, and we're gonna run through. There we go, and I'm gonna take these out here. All right, and you should have your Mu editor up here ready to go, and with this connected, that should get you going. I'm gonna move this off to the side, and what we're gonna do is go into the pressure sensor first, and then I'm just gonna run through each one of these pieces of code, and then see what kind of output we get. Some of these are just going to be straightforward, and we'll just be using the plotter function, and some others will use actually not use the plotter function. But again, we won't be using this one. We won't be using the gizmo just yet. So we're double checking on the gizmo, and we're working on getting it integrated. It probably won't be this week. More likely next week before we get this get some going, because the more I got to thinking about it, I wanted to spend more time on getting you familiar with the sensors and the sensor suite. So that's what we're going to be running through today. Okay, so enough talking. Let's get to some coding and get this show on the road. All right, so first up, we're going to work with the pressure sensor. Let's start off with pressure sensor. And to access the pressure sensor, we're just going to access the Adafruit Circuit Playground microcontroller's main class library, which is the CP Adafruit Circuit Playground library. So we're going to do from Adafruit and then Circuit Playground. That's the main library. We're going to import CP, which is the Circuit Python, and then this is going to give us access to Adafruit and the hardware that we're going to be accessing, which is the sensors and everything. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is work with the pressure sensor. So we're going to create a while loop. We're going to do while true, and then we're going to create some small, simple control flow in this. So CP is the library from up here that we're working with. So if CP, and we're going to access the button class, and that's going to be button A. And then if button A is pressed, so we're going to do a print, and then I'm going to say button A pressed, and then we'll close that out, and then we'll do cp.red. I'm actually going to do access the red LED equal to true, so you can see that show up. So the red LED, I'll show you where that's at. I'm going to pull this in here real quick over here. It's going to be next to the green LED. It's going to be on this side. So that's going to light up. So we'll go ahead and run that. So if button A is pressed, we're going to print it to the serial with the serial output down here. And then I'm going to also, I also want to make the red LED light up. So I'm gonna run this. I'm gonna pull this over, and I'm going to at the same time I'm gonna do a save. Now it may ask you to save to the code.py. And if it didn't, that's because you already had it connected. So I'll run it both ways, just so you can see how what I'm describing. So if you come over here and you push one of the buttons, and in this case the red button, you see that the red LED lit up once I pressed the A button. Now if I press the B button, nothing is going to happen, and because I didn't put any code in for the B. So what I can do then is I can get a little creative. So then that's kind of cool. Okay, great. That's just a pressure sensor. That's all that is. And now what I can do is actually I can go to the end of this line 8. I can do Shift Home, and I can hit the up arrow like this. And apologies, because I usually am able to be recording, my camera broke, but usually I record my keyboard as well, so you can kind of see some of the keyboard shortcuts. But yeah, Shift Home and the up button, and then Control C, and then go down to the next line here and put Control V, and that'll save you some typing. That's going to make life a lot easier for you. Then what we can do is Control B, and then we can, button B, and then I can come over here and say pressed B button, and but what I can do is make the B button false. In other words, we're gonna turn it on and turn it off, and so then I'm gonna save, and then now I've created a new program here, and so I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna press the button, right? That's the B button. So the red light is already off because we had false. But if I come over here and press the A button, I got the red light turns on, which is perfect, right? So it turns on, and I'm also showing that I press the A button, so that's all good. Now if I come back over here and I press the B button, then it turns off. And so that is a simple way for us to use a pressure sensor, or the pressure sensors, in this case button A and button B, on the Adafruit. And so it's kind of fun. There you go. That takes care of that. All right, so now that we've got that, I'm going to move this off to the side, and then go ahead and save this off. And if you want a copy of the code or anything like that, I will be saving a copy of the code and uploading that for everyone to have access to, as well as my my PowerPoints. You'll have access to that as well. Okay, so next up, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this we're gonna keep this going, but I'm gonna create a new while loop, and I'm gonna do while true, and then this one is gonna be a capacitive touch. This is capacitive touch sensor. And then while true, same thing. And then I'm going to say if CP, same library, touch A1, and then I'm going to do a print touched pad A1. Okay. Now I'm going to actually bring this over because I want to showcase a little bit about what's happening here. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so for the for this exercise, I wanted, before I run this, I do want to show this here, that I'm going to disconnect mine, and then you're going to get an error that shows up here right there. And that's okay. I'm going to go hit OK, and then I'm going to bring this back over here. And then I'm going to reconnect. I'm going to go ahead and reconnect here like this. Oops, don't break it. All right. Okay, so now you're connected. You're going to get this detected new circuit Python device. That means that we're good on the lower left-hand corner there. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. And it went ahead and gave me a save. I just wanted to show you what that looks like. and that's all. So okay, so it did that double thing there. It means I've got my code is now saved to my Adafruit. And then now here's what's cool is if I touch, so A1, the pad for A1, it's kind of hard to see here, but the pad for A1 is right, let's see, it's right over here on this side. So if I touch that, that's going to actually, you can see it printed, but that's going to actually, I'm going to go ahead and put the serial up here. And so if I touch A1, I'm going to get, so just to kind of give you an angle on it, A1 is over here. And let me get so A1 is this one right here, right there. And if I touch that, that's going to show that I touched it. That's capacitive touch. I don't have a button. I'm actually, I don't want to get in the physics of it, but I'm influencing the electrical current through my fingers, and I'm touching that. And it's the same similar technology that works for your touch screens on your phone. So anyway, that's that's great. We can do one, but we actually have 7 touch pads that are enabled on this that we can touch that are receptive sensors. So we've got A1, A2, A3, we've got A4, A5, A6, and A7 over here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to code up a few more on this. Let me go ahead and move this out of the way. And then what's great about this is we can do the same thing. We just copy, we paste, and we're going to paste this 3 more times. So I'm going to do A2. Actually, I want to do, let's see, I want to do A3, A4, and A6. A3, A4, and then A6. And so we'll come back over here, and then I'm going to load it up, and then I'm going to bring this over. Yep. And so now I have an ability, I can touch all of these, right? I have an ability to now touch all sides of this. So I can do, I can touch A1 right here, and then that gives me, and then I can touch A3, which is up here, and then it changes. Then I can touch A4 over here, and then if I touch that, and then I've got A6 over here, and if I touch that, there. You can see how it changes each time when I go through. So this gives me an ability to now give me, this microcontroller has integrated sensors that allow me to do, up to this point, pressure, right? I can do pressure, and then I can do capacitive touch as well. So this is another angle for us as we're building out an autonomous system that is interactive. Okay, so let me go ahead and move this off to the side again, and then that's capacitive touch. Now we've got 2 more we're going to work on, and then light sensor, and then we're going to do accelerometer. So the light sensor is going to be light sensor, and this is the photo resistor. Okay, and we are going to be using this, but I'm going to import time on this one because I want to plot. So I'm going to do while true again, and I'm going to do x equals to cp.light, and then that accesses the light sensor, and then I'm going to print x, and then there's something I need to explain here on this. It's kind of a quirk. Time.sleep 0.1, and then I'm going to open up the plotter and the serial. Oops, serial. There we go. Okay. Okay, let me bring this over, and then I do want to, maybe I should bring this down just a little, and then I will bring this up here. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm still connected. The old program's still running, so I need to change that. I need to download it. So now that I've got it written out, hit save, and then, okay. So I'm plotting here, and I'm plotting the ambient light here in this room. So if I move it out away and into this direction over here that's in the light, I'm getting higher light values. On average, I'm looking like I'm getting a moving average of 62 lumens ish. I think that's the way it's measuring it. Now, if I cover this, it goes down to quite a bit. So if I open it, right, and so that's telling me that my light sensor is actually working. This is actually pretty important because the light sensor on here gives us an ability, again, to create an autonomous system that is responsive to light. Now I can create more light. I can bend it a little bit over here where my light source is, and point it towards that. So I've got higher average, lumen that it's measuring, and then I can kind of twist it away slowly, like this, away from the light, and then it slowly goes down. It's pretty sensitive. It works pretty good. It's pretty neat. So then, and of course, if I completely put it upside down, then I get hardly any light. But then if I lay it down flat, 2, 3, and we could turn the lights off here in the office and see what happens. That's also an option to see what it does. Feel free to go ahead and try that at home, and it's kind of a neat exercise because I do want to get over the next two exercises here. Okay, so that's a neat exercise right there. I'm going to move us off to the side again, and I'm going to let that run, and that's the light sensor. And then the last one that we're going to run through for today's lab is we're going to do import time. We're going to do this, but we're going to actually get the accelerometer. So, and then to do this, we're going to do a multivariable access of the acceleration or the accelerometer. And to do that, the accessing the accelerometer is in 3 dimensions. X, Y, and Z. So there's 3 variables that are passed by the accelerometer, CP dot acceleration. And then I'm going to print, and this is something I forgot to mention. When you're printing to the plotter in mu in 1 dimension, you have to do, this is this is for plotting in 1 dimension. And I'm going to leave this up here. So the reason that comma, it's just a quirk. That comma just delineates that it's 1 dimension. If I do that, you would think it's smart enough to figure it out, but it's not. The plotter doesn't recognize that I'm plotting in 1 dimension, and it won't plot. So you have to put the comma there. So plotting in 1 dimension requires that extra comma at the end. And so if you're doing 1 dimension. But outside of that, it's pretty intuitive. So X, Y, and Z. So this is plotting in multi-dimensions, plotting in 3 dimensions. Okay, and then I think I have to put a timer on this, time.sleep, so that, there we go. And then I think that's all I need. I don't think I need anything else. And then, so let me bring this back over because this is pretty important for this one, being able to see what happens here. While this is running, I'm gonna reboot the code. I'm gonna reload onto this, and then I'm gonna immediately get multiple I'm going to get the access to the accelerometer, and then it's going to, there we go. Now, I'm wondering if there is a way for me to reset this. Can I reset this? Will it? Okay, there we go. Acceleration, yeah, okay. I want to expand on this a little bit more to make it a little bit more pronounced, because these values are, these are all fine. Let me pause this here real quick and figure out. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Perfect. I just needed some time to reset. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Okay. So, all right. So now I'm going to hold this steady. And then when I hold it flat like this, the accelerometer is now showing, plotting the data in 3 dimensions. So I'm getting streaming data off of this, and then if I move it, if I twist it, you see what happens. I can access the rotation of this as well as the acceleration of this. If I shake it, I can get data off of that. And if I do it in different dimensions, this actually gives us movement in the pitch, roll, and yaw. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't do strafing. Unless, I mean, you can do acceleration like this. But if I slowly move this up or down, it doesn't change the position of anything. So, but if I do this, if I rotate, then I get, right, and then if I do this, right, this doesn't really give me much. But it's this kind of stuff that I get a lot of data off of. So all of this can give me a lot of information, and then of course I can get even more. If I shake this, I can get more amplitude on what it is I'm looking at. But this also can be used to level. So right there, if I'm off just a little bit, I can see the green line, right? And then if as I level it out, even though it won't look level to you on the camera, I can actually get the green line to disappear. That tells me that the circuit is balanced out, that the plane of the circuit, the Adafruit board, is balanced and flat. Now if I flip it over, this is face up with buttons up, then the orange line indicates that I'm above plane and I'm positive. This is negative. So anyway, that gives you access to all of that. It's fun info for us to work with. Now, I don't want to take away from, we've done plenty for this lab. We're at the 23-ish mark now. So just to give you a heads up, we will get into sensor data fusion for our next lab. And we're going to take what we've learned here and we're going to start to combine it into because that's like a question, like how do I combine data, right, into something that's more usable? Because each one of these by themselves is great, but let's say I was trying to build like something that can service something in a little bit broader capacity. Well, we need to have access to multiple sensors to do that. Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and that's it for this week. Again, no assignments, so if you haven't got your work in for the last assignment, use this time to get that in. And then with that, because you don't want to get behind, because we have a bigger assignment coming up next week. So not this weekend, but the weekend after this, or the week after this, there'll be an assignment due where we get into the research design. I think that's all I got. And I will see everyone in the next learning activities for next week.